Or they will fall into our hands just like pennies. No, but we won't be so hasty to spend them. Oh no, we won't be so hasty to spend them. Yes, I won't be so hasty to spend them.
Okay. My name is Waylon Lewis, elephantjournal.com, and I am honored to be here with Hosea Rosenberg, the top chef. You've done us proud.
Thanks, buddy.
I told you to bring the, yeah.
Let's get loose here.
Nice. People actually want your shirt unbuttoned, but, so I was asking my friends.
I'll go button for button with you if you want.
Yeah, where's the deck of cards? So I was asking a lot of people, including Lachlan Patterson today of Frosca and Boulder, what I should ask you. Almost unanimously, it was, how's your dating life?
Girls?
Yeah, you could all speak for yourselves, all of you, girls.
It didn't hurt being single to be on a national television show. I'm so consumed with work and with doing better for the environment that I, just don't have time for women right now.
Yeah. That's my line. So I talked to Lachlan. He's a wonderful chef. Frosca's a well-respected restaurant. And I said, how do you look at Top Chef? Does this mean something, or is this just sort of a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing? And he basically said that Top Chef was the #1 rated cooking show on cable. Is that correct?
That is true. #1 food show on cable. It's Emmy-winning show, James Beard Award-winning show. I mean, I had no idea how big of a deal it was when I signed up.
And most importantly, that hostess.
Padma? Yeah, she's a little distracting. But what you're talking about before, a year ago, I was a chef at what I consider the best restaurant in town.
What restaurant is that?
Jack's Fish House, just down on 9th and Pearl. Part of a great group of restaurants owned by Dave Query, good friend and a great boss. In a beautiful town, I have a great life. So worst case scenario, I'm the first one booted off the show and whatever.
Right.
It can
how
only
many
lead to better
contestants
things.
were there in the beginning?
We started with 17 chefs from all over the country, and one of those was Melissa Harrison formerly of Centro, now of Happy Noodle House, which is just down the street as well. So It was awesome to have another Boulderite in the mix.
So Lachlan said it was incredibly difficult, a lot of pressure. It did mean a lot because Top Chef was basically raising the level of dialogue and knowledge. I can say I watched the shows and I don't even know how to make nachos. And that people now knew who Jacques Pepin and all these amazing chefs and characters were. Do you feel like Top Chef is kind of just entertainment that's going to be forgotten about in a few years, or do you feel like it's actually affecting some change in the food world? God knows it needs it.
No, I mean, it's a huge, I think it's a sign of the times. Like, food is becoming such a mainstream thing for people, not just eating out.
Everyone
but
does it.
Everybody, y'all eat out there? Yeah, let's hear it for eating. No, the knowledge of food, where it comes from, the whole process from seed to plate, and that has become huge in the last couple of years. People know so much more about food and cooking techniques, but also processes and farming and the effects of, the carbon footprint of food, where it comes from, and the people are getting much more, educated about all of that, and so I think it's huge.
And yet you work for Jack's Fish House. We're overfishing. Even people who love fish who couldn't give a care about being vegetarian or let alone vegan. We're overfishing to such an extent that some fish populations may not be recovering. As someone who obviously loves making foie gras wrapped in, dead baby duck,
It's not always dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Dipped in swine flu. What are you trying to do in terms of making fish, the serving of fish more sustainable and that sort of thing?
We've been on a program over the last couple of years to try and get more educated for ourselves as well as for our customers as to what fish we can bring in that's sustainable.
And what does that mean, sustainable fish? I mean, it's all getting shipped from Japan and back and frozen and...
I mean, it's hard for me to say that our restaurant is like vibrant green. I mean, we are shipping fish in. Obviously, we're using
Colorado doesn't have
airplanes.
a lot of tuna?
You know, we have baby striped bass, so there's a farm down in southern Colorado where we're getting some local fish. You know, I do my best to get a lot of the local produce, cheeses, dairy, that kind of stuff. But the fish, yeah, it's getting flown in.
Where do you get all that the stuff you were just mentioning?
I've been working very closely for the last 5-6 years with Haystack, with Hazel Dell.
These are local farms?
Abundanza Farms, big support of Abundanza. Muco Cheese Company. There's a lot of great suppliers locally.
Local farms.
Local, all Boulder County. And I also use guys out in the Western Slope for peaches and plums and nectarines, that kind of stuff. Problem is, you know, Colorado has a short growing season. We can't get everything 12 months a year from Colorado, but we do our best, and I know people like Lachlan and the guys at the kitchen and some of the restaurants here in town have really helped raise the awareness of what Colorado can bring to the table, no pun intended.
So a common criticism of this organic stuff, the sustainable stuff, other than it being boring and shut up and just get me my sushi I want to eat, is it's more expensive. Is there a way for, say, restaurants, one of my favorite local restaurants is Mountain Sun, they serve natural beef. Is there a way that this kind of food is accessible, or is...
Absolutely. You brought up tuna before. We get in Tombo, which is albacore tuna, which if you're getting it from certain parts of the ocean, is abundant. The fishing methods they're using are not catching byproducts of their fish. There are a lot of seafood options out there that are very green, very sustainable. You know, you can't just put a blanket statement over, say, like farm fish is bad and wild fish is good. It really depends on the fish, and you have to do the research. But there's a couple groups out there, like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, where you can go online. They even have iPhone apps for it now. You can type in a fish species, and it'll tell you, you know, this type of salmon is great. Don't get that kind of salmon. And we use them. We use a number of resources to kind of do sustainable. And we're actually doing a sustainable fish dinner June 7th at Lola, which is one of our restaurants. So we're going to be doing a whole multi-course dinner. Myself, Sheila from Jackson, Denver, Jamie from Lola. We're going to be doing a sustainable fish dinner to kind of highlight what we can actually do.
So readers of Huffington Post everywhere can fly in for that dinner.
I'm sure they're
nice
already...
carbon footprint, then you'll have some sustainable fish. So you have this platform. You are one of the most famous chefs suddenly in the U.S. How do you want to use that? You got your $100,000. Do you think you want to verbally commit to staying in Boulder right now?
I am verbally committing to staying in Boulder right now. For at least the next 7 days.
Yeah.
No, I'm staying in Boulder. There's no reason to leave. I love the community. Everybody was so supportive. When you were there the night we watched that finale, I mean, the chefs in Denver and Boulder and Colorado in general were just so supportive of me being on the show. Everybody was like just so happy for me. And you know, I felt like a lot of pressure to represent the state because I feel like we have some amazing chefs here, great growers, farmers, the big network of people in the culinary world. And I was just psyched as hell to bring it home for everybody here.
Well, that's wonderful news. We're keeping Hosea in Boulder. I think that's some good work for one night. What else am I forgetting? Everyone else, what's that?
Did I get I'm already the head chef of Jack's. There's nowhere else to go unless Dave wants to hand over the keys to the place.
Yeah, well, he got a super extreme head chef.
I did get a new chef coat. It's shiny.
Yeah.
My name's spelled right on it. It's awesome. You tell me.
I guess it's just time for the the clothes coming off. Yeah. So what's behind this whole Top Chef thing? What's below these clothes? I guess what I want to conclude on, other than we'll turn down the lights a little bit for that. But
I would turn them way down. In fact, maybe pure blackness.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm staying, to answer your question, Waylon, I'm staying in Boulder. I'm still at Jack's. I've been traveling a lot. I was just out in Los Angeles last week doing some promotions for Colorado Cuisine, and I brought out all local organic ingredients, did a big dinner.
Just keep saying
LA.
Local organic whenever I can't think of a question. So I guess the final thing I want to say is thank you. I feel
Sure.
very proud of Boulder, and I'm very defensive when people make fun of us. And there's so many things to make fun of us about. But I feel like you really represented us. Your rivals were all highly competent. Many of them were very sweet. I said to you that night of the finale, and I'm sure you heard me because you hadn't been drinking and everyone wasn't trying to talk to you. But I said you really combined competence and being not a jerk, being a nice guy. And I think on some level that's why you won. And keep it up. Don't become a big famous jerk.
A celebutard, as they say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. It was a really humbling experience because there was a few moments where I didn't think I was going to make it all the way through, and to be able to persevere and make it through the whole thing, and then to come up with some amazing food. I'm going to be in New Orleans in 2 weeks. I got invited by some of the chefs down there to be part of this food and wine experience, and it's just awesome. And I feel really humbled by the whole thing because it made me realize that there's a lot of amazing chefs out there, and I was really lucky to get picked to be on the show, and the hard work paid off, but there's still a long way to go for me. I'm not trying to rest on this. This is just like a good starting point to move further.
Well, again, thank you, Hosea, and I think a special thanks to Dave Query, who also is a fantastic guy, is due. Thank you. Top Chef Hosea.
Thanks, guys.